some films that leave an impression. And then there are some films that leave a mark on your soul. A Silent Voice is not just a movie, it's a masterpiece. It's an emotional, gut-wrenching, and healing journey that I wish I could experience again for the first time. Watching it was like riding a roller coaster with a blindfold. I didn't know where it was taking me, but every twist, every drop, and every turn was worth it. It tore me apart and gently pieced me back together. But what makes A Silent Voice so profound isn't just its stunning animation or hauntingly beautiful music. It's the fact that it tells the story of redemption through the eyes of the bully. At the center of the story is Shoya, a boy who once led the charge in bullying Shouko, a deaf girl who only wanted to be accepted. Shoya's cruelty wasn't passive. It was loud, active, and painful. And although it's crucial to state that what he did and what his classmates did was deeply wrong, this story doesn't ask for excuses. It shows us consequences. Because once the bullying comes to light, Shoya becomes the outcast. His so-called friends disappear, the blame falls on him entirely, and for years, he walks through life alone, just as he forced Shouko to. In that solitude, in the silence he once mocked, he begins to understand the depth of his actions. And he doesn't just feel sorry, he changes. And that change isn't sudden. It's painful, it's awkward, it's slow, but it's real. Shoya begins to learn sign language quietly and diligently, just in case he ever gets the chance to tell Shouko how sorry he is. His entire life becomes a quiet form of self-inflicted penance. He isolates himself, convinced that this is what he deserves, that he's unworthy of forgiveness, friendship, or love. And yet, the story doesn't stop there, because neither does his journey. Shoya's depression is deeply felt. He lives with a constant weight of guilt and self-loathing that leads him to consider ending it all. And in a heartbreaking parallel, Shouko herself feels the same. Despite being kind, patient, and gentle, traits that should have protected her, she also begins to believe that maybe the world will be better off without her. And that's what makes A Silent Voice so devastatingly beautiful. It doesn't romanticize depression or forgiveness, it just shows it, raw and real. It shows what it's like to be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone. It captures the cycle of anxiety so perfectly. When your mind convinces you that you're not worth the effort of being seen or loved, and it does it in such an artistic way. For example, the X over people's faces from Shoya's perspective is one of the most clever metaphors for social anxiety that I've ever seen in media. It's how many of us live, avoiding eye contact, tuning out the world, afraid to connect. As someone who struggles with social anxiety, seeing that visual representation broke me, because I felt that. I lived that on a daily. And as Shoya slowly begins to heal, as the X's start to fall off, you can physically see the progress he's making within himself. But just as this story gives us growth, it also reminds us of reality, especially how it portrays the supporting characters. Take Miki for instance. She's the textbook definition of passive-aggressive. She wasn't as loud as Naoka, but she was also a bully. She played victim and she deflected blame. During the choir scene, she intentionally tricked Shouko into singing alone, humiliating her. And years later, Miki tries to rewrite history, pretending that she tried to stop the bullying and painting herself as the sweet, innocent one. And that's the most dangerous type of person. The kind who throws stone and hides their hand. The one who harms others but denies it so convincingly that they even start to believe their own lies. And then there's Naoka. Unlike Miki, Naoka owns her cruelty. She learned sign language not to build a bridge to Shouko, but to sharpen her weapon. She blames Shouko for the friends' fallout, never acknowledging her own role. She's upfront with her hatred towards Shouko, and is honestly a terrible person just like Miki. Kazuki is another character who participated in the bullying of Shouko, but he's often overlooked. He wasn't the ringleader, but he was definitely a part of the problem. He laughed and he enabled. And when Shoya was caught, Kazuki abandoned him instantly, betraying him without hesitation. He even continued the cycle of bullying Shoya afterwards, spreading rumors that followed him into middle school and destroyed any chance he had at starting fresh. This is what makes A Silent Voice so heartbreakingly real. It shows the ripple effects of cruelty, how easy it is for people to discard each other, how quick people are to save themselves even if it means destroying someone else. This film brought up so many memories for me, of people I hurt thoughtlessly as a young kid and people who hurt me just the same. Watching it felt like holding a mirror up to my own regrets and realizing just how heavy they still are. The balcony scene between Shoya and Shouko is one of the most emotionally intense moments I've ever watched. It's the point where everything comes to a head, where both of them feel so broken that they believe that the world will be better without them. But that's not the truth. And thank God the story did not end there. A Silent Voice begins by making us dislike Shoya, but it doesn't end there. It dares to show us what growth really looks like, what redemption costs, and how difficult it is to face people you've wronged. This movie doesn't hand out forgiveness freely. It doesn't offer easy answers, but it does remind us that people can change, that redemption is possible, but not without self-awareness, humility, and the willingness to sit with your guilt long enough to grow from it. At the end of the day, this film teaches us something that we all need to remember. To truly love others, you have to first learn how to love yourself. A Silent Voice isn't just a story about bullying. It's a story about pain, healing, and the power of connection. It's about how the most broken people can still find hope, and how silence, no matter how loud, can still be broken by a voice who dares to speak again. This film, without question, is a masterpiece. I would like to know your thoughts on A Silent Voice. Comment your thoughts down below and subscribe for more content like this.